channel. Starting with number 3. Now imagine a riverside wasteland, bombed out buildings, industrial decay. That was the South Bank of London in the mid-20th century. But today, it's a global cultural hub, home to the National Theatre, the South Bank Centre, and the London Eye. How did this transformation happen? It all started with the 1951 Festival of Britain, an ambitious post-war regeneration project designed to uplift the nation's spirit. Architects like Hugh Casson envisioned a futuristic modernist landscape. The Royal Festival Hall, one of the only permanent structures from the festival, set the stage for what was to come. By the 1980s, urban planners saw the potential for turning the area into an artistic and commercial hotspot. But revitalization wasn't simple. Balancing historic preservation with modern development? A challenge. One key factor? Infrastructure. The extension of pedestrian walkways, like the Queen's Walk, created an uninterrupted riverside experience, connecting cultural landmarks. Public transport access improved, with Waterloo Station becoming a major gateway. Foot traffic surged, economic activity followed. In 2000, the London Eye was added, instantly reshaping the skyline. Within a year, over 3.5 million visitors. Cultural investment was massive. The South Bank Centre, originally a brutalist structure from the 1960s, underwent multiple renovations, totaling over £111 million by 2018. The result? One of the most visited art centres in the world. Street performances, festivals, and open-air markets flourished. Today, the South Bank generates billions annually, a model for urban renewal worldwide. But here's the question. How do you balance commerce with culture? Critics argue that rising commercial rents push out smaller artists and vendors. Still, the South Bank remains a case study in how a city can reclaim its waterfront, turning a neglected past into a thriving future. Moving to number 2. Stick around. This one's fascinating. Poblenou, Barcelona's old industrial heart, once a landscape of abandoned factories, crumbling warehouses, and a maze of forgotten streets. But today, a transformation so dramatic it's studied worldwide. A case of urban alchemy, where decay turns into vibrancy and lost potential becomes an economic engine. But how did it happen? It starts with 22 Barcelona, a bold vision launched in the year 2000. The idea? Convert over 200 hectares of obsolete industrial land into a high-tech innovation hub. Instead of erasing history, the plan layered modern technology over old bones. Factories weren't just demolished, they were repurposed. Some turned into sleek office spaces, others into creative hubs. The iconic Calais textile factory, now a sustainability-focused research center backed by Cisco and the city government. Let's talk numbers. Over 4,500 companies have moved in, bringing more than 100,000 jobs in tech, design, and digital media. That's an employment surge of over 150% in 2 decades. And these aren't just any jobs. Global giants like Amazon, Microsoft, and SAP have set up research hubs here. Even MIT chose Poblenou for its Fab Lab Barcelona, a key player in digital manufacturing research. A decayed district is now one of Europe's top 5 innovation hubs. But urban renewal is about more than jobs. It's about people. Poblenou saw 40% more residential units added, yet the skyline remains human-scaled. Unlike soulless corporate districts, the plan emphasized mixed-use spaces, with 30% of new development dedicated to green areas, public spaces, and cultural centers. The former Oliva Artes factory? Now an interactive museum showcasing the city's industrial heritage. Even the grid-like streets were rethought with super blocks that restrict cars, creating pedestrian-first neighborhoods. Economically, the district's GDP per capita skyrocketed, property values nearly tripled, and foreign investment poured in. But it wasn't just a gentrification spree. City planners imposed strict affordable housing quotas, ensuring locals weren't priced out. This blend of economic drive and social planning is why cities from Boston to Singapore are studying Poblenou's model. And the best part? The transformation isn't done. Barcelona is now expanding the 22 project, adding more smart infrastructure, AI-driven urban planning, and climate-conscious architecture. The goal? A city that grows sustainably, balancing history with innovation. And in Poblenou, they've already proven it's possible. Lastly, we will talk about the High Line in New York City. this extraordinary transformation of an abandoned elevated railway into a thriving urban park. And it all starts with a fascinating economic paradox: a space built for heavy industry, abandoned in decay, then repurposed into a multi-million-dollar cultural and economic asset. The numbers? Astounding. Before its conversion, property values in the area hovered at the lower end of Manhattan's real estate market. But after its opening in 2009, property values skyrocketed by nearly 35%. And by 2020, the economic impact exceeded $2 billion in tax revenues alone. Not bad for something once scheduled for demolition. And speaking of demolition, that was almost the fate of the High Line. Built in the 1930s as part of the West Side Improvement Project, the rail line was originally designed to lift freight trains above the chaos of street traffic. But by the 1980s, as trucking took over freight transport, the steel structure was left to rust. Enter the visionaries: Joshua David and Robert Hammond, who in 1999 founded the nonprofit Friends of the High Line with a bold idea to turn this industrial relic into an urban sanctuary. They were met with skepticism. How do you justify investing in an old railway? The answer: ecosystem restoration, economic revitalization, and social transformation. The engineering behind it is remarkable. The High Line's design integrates soil depths carefully calibrated to support trees and meadows, up to 36 inches deep in some sections. The drainage system, critical to prevent soil erosion, uses a precise layering of crushed stone and engineered substrates. Over 210 species of plants were selected, many native to New York, creating a self-sustaining habitat. And here's an overlooked detail: the microclimate. The narrow width of the High Line creates unique wind patterns and temperature gradients, meaning each section has subtly different growing conditions. But beyond ecology, the High Line is a case study in urban economic policy. The surrounding neighborhood, once filled with abandoned warehouses, now hosts luxury apartments, high-end galleries, and tech startups. Yet, here's the critique: has it fueled gentrification? Yes, property values soared, but did it displace lower-income residents? That's a debate still unfolding. But what is clear: the High Line succeeded where countless renewal projects failed. A dead railway became a vibrant public space, blending art, nature, and architecture. And that wraps up our look at the most compelling examples of successful urban renewal projects. From the South Bank, London, to Barcelona's Poblenou transformation, and of course, the High Line, New York City. But what do you think? Is this the future of urban renewal? Comment below. Tell us what surprised you most. And don't forget, like, subscribe, and check out our next video for more mind-blowing insights. See you there.